You're watching the TGM production.
I ain't ever seen no magic. Till now. Viva la revolution!
How's that?
Oh, what a goal!
We should always live like this.
Hello. What you're about to watch is a review of the streaming service HBO Max. Today here in the UK, the 26th of March 2026, it has launched. There's some ups, there's some downs, and most notably, there's a lot of thoughts. Now, due to my thoughts being in the area that I would like them to be, so to the fact that I'm happy with exactly what I said, the clip you're about to see is exactly what happened. Now the difference here is that is blurry. I don't know why it was blurry, I don't know why it was out of focus, but because I'm happy with what I've said, I'm not necessarily wanting to refilm. But due to I'm trying to be perfection, I'm recording this bit to talk about that. I think HBO Max is going to improve. As you'll find out in my full-length review, it's improving. I think it will develop day by day, year on year, month by month. Now, I'm watching a little bit further on with The Pit now, and I think The Pit sort of has this feeling that it really does feel like an American Casualty, which isn't a problem. I love Casualty, and I think it's going to be a success. But I think that it does seem like a success. But what I think is that it'll have this sort of American feel to it, and I think it won't connect with the UK as much, because I've got a feeling that the ER department is a little bit trauma unit and that is a little bit different between the countries, but I don't think the dramatical shift is different. The UI, which I forgot to mention in the review, is quite good. I think the way you navigate it, I do think it's missing a continue watching page, but it might because I've not watched enough of The Pit yet to get that continue watching segment. I do think putting the brands that are connected with HBO are a little bit too low down. It should be a Disney Plus situation where it's a little bit higher up. And I do think that it will slowly improve. The more updates it does, and the more it feels into our operating system and the way that the UK react to it and all the reviews and all the tests, I think it will slowly improve. What you've seen before this clip is the launch trailer, hopefully, depending on copyright, might have been ruined, but the launch trailer that HBO distributed with it. Will this mean that we don't get, like, the new series, the Euphoria, or any other HBO stuff first hand on Sky, or we have to subscribe to HBO Max to see it first, or if you are just a regular Sky customer, will you be able to still watch it stuff on Sky? Who knows? I don't know. Who knows? But at least someone probably does know. Hopefully, that'll all become clear, and hopefully that information will be distributed. So, what you're about to see is my review of HBO Max, and it is sadly blurry. It's far too far. I was all the way back here, so it's slightly too far back as well. It's a little bit blurry, but focus more on my opinion and my thoughts rather than the visual, because that is what the key element here is. It's the key thing. I don't know why it was blurry. I don't. I'll have to look at that on the camera, but I don't know why it's blurry. It's a little bit of a mystery to me, but hopefully you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed filming it.
Hello and welcome to the third channel, The Weird Side. Today we're reviewing HBO Max UK and Ireland. Now, this review you're about to watch, because this is me, Editing Tom, you've seen a bit before using this camera, the Osmo Pocket 3, and you'll see a bit using my Fujifilm, but for some weird reason it keeps on wanting to blurry up the footage. I need to look into that, because I don't know why it's been doing that today, now. Didn't do that to me earlier this morning, or was I unaware? Oh, I need to investigate that. Was I unaware? Anyway, so I don't know why it's blurring up the footage, but I do need to have a look at that and probably have a gander of where to fix it. So you are going to see some blurry footage from that camera, but it's because the audio was really good, and I don't want to just make it audio only. I want to showcase the visuals, but I'm trying to make it as less blurry as possible, so I'm adding as much non-blurry footage in there, and I hope in this bit at the beginning will distract from that, because it'll be about 10 minutes or something, I don't know, but this film currently is getting up to the 22-minute mark, but I'm really enjoying the pit at the moment, because it's now 10:57 a.m. on the 26th of March 2026, I'm loving the pit, I'm excited to see more of, I think he's called, I can't remember the actor's name, but he played young Dracula. He played the case of young Dracula in both things, and I think that he's a really incredible actor. So I'm really excited. The UI of, if you pause it, then you rewind and you rewind and whatnot, it's a little bit annoying, but the UI, the way it looks will improve over time, and the more we look at this, the more and more improved it will be. So, please enjoy the blurriness of my review from earlier today, and hopefully by the next time I make a film on YouTube, the blurriness will have stopped. I need to investigate that. Bye! Here in the United Kingdom and Ireland. Today is 9:48 a.m. on the 26th of March 2026, the day of the launch of it. Now, if you see me looking down at any point, it's because I'm looking at A, the HBO Max app, B, the other excess information due to the way I view HBO Max. For anyone that's on Sky and now get HBO Max included in their current price. I don't know what the current price is, so I can't give you that information. Now let's talk about the launch, or what's good about it, before I get on to that large, lengthy negatives. HBO is an American streaming service. Now, if I get it right, Paramount are merging. There's a whole merger situation going on. So, the main thing to think about is, I think that some of the original stuff in it is quite fascinating. So, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the pit. The pit is basically, from what I can gather, I've not seen much of episode 1, because I was watching the last 2 episodes, the most recent 2 episodes of Last One Laughing UK, and then I was listening to the Last One Laughing UK podcast. But from what I hear it described as, is the American casualty, is what I hear it described as. So, it came out a few years ago, right? And the second series is on. So, when they added the first, when they've launched it, they launched the first series, so you can watch all 15 episodes right now. But if we go to series 2, you can only watch the first episode, with episodes airing weekly. Now that's odd to begin with. This isn't the negative. This is just a confusion, because why would you? Who's going to be watching series 2 weekly if they've only just, unless you get to finish series 1 by the end of today, and then you start with series 2 tomorrow. I don't know. But that just seems quite odd. Are they airing it weekly in America? I don't know. So, I think that if we go to, let's press series. Is that the button we're pressing? Is that how we, no? It's not easy to navigate, but I'll get on to the UI in the negative. So let's go to HBO Max Originals. So the ones that we haven't had in the UK that I'm quite chuffed we've got are The Pit. the one I know about is what Pit, the Scooby-Doo spin-off Velma, about the character Velma. Let's go to my is that my list? We've got Neighbours, not to be confused with the American the Australian soap opera Neighbours, and series 1 and 2 of Conan O'Brien Must Go. Now, I'm not necessarily a big fan of Conan O'Brien, but I've heard that his episode on Ireland and his episode on New Zealand are really good. The reason why I say Ireland is because the way I speak, if I say island, it sounds like I'm on about a tropical island, the island that's begins IS, not Ireland as in the country. So I pronounce the R so that you understand that I'm on about the country of Ireland, not an island in the sea. I'm glad that we've got another new home for Our Flags Means Death, so that's good. Now, if we really look at our HBO Max originals, a lot of them I don't even recognise as being anything of... No one's mentioned it online, it's not been the topic of conversation, so I'm a little bit interested to see what some of these are. A lot of them have aired on Sky, a lot of them have aired on ITVX, and so, and ITV in general, and so I think that it is the BBC, so I think it's interesting the list they've got. The classics of American sitcom cartoon like the Looney Tunes ones are a little bit disappointed, and the lack of history of Scooby-Doo is also a little bit disappointed. But what I've seen is a lot of HBO, like Discovery Plus stuff, such as Jonathan Ross' Haunted Homecoming and Mock the Week is on HBO Max. So let me just put this down for a second so we can talk about our positive. The positive is, A, HBO Max is now available here in the UK. It's merged into the deal with Sky, so you get it built in. It's not distracting from what we get with Sky and HBO stuff anyway, so we're not going to have to watch Rooster on HBO Max. We can still watch it on Sky One, so that's good. It doesn't disappear all that. I think the wide variety of the originals that we haven't yet seen here in the UK, like The Pit and Conan O'Brien Must Go, is good. But I think there's a hefty amount of negatives, and this is what we're going to talk about. So let's talk about the HBO Max negatives before we talk about the Sky negatives, because I utilise HBO Max, and I have Sky. I have a Sky Q box, so I interact with Paramount Plus and Discovery Plus and HBO Max through Sky. I've got a lot of issues with Paramount Plus, but that's another film for another day. So the issue is, if you really think about Scooby-Doo, if we type in Scooby-Doo, right, I don't think you're going to get if I can spell it right, Scooby-Doo. You're not going to get anything, really. Velma is the only Scooby-Doo asset we've got on here, right? And you're probably thinking, well, that's fair enough. I know, but if you've got... And Tom and Jerry, the back catalogue of Tom and Jerry isn't great either. I mean, I know it sounds like I might poo-pooing on the service. I'm not. I'm just saying there's a lot of problems with it. And I do think that the lack of classics and for me, all I can see is sports, the stuff that's already available on Sky, and some shows that are already currently airing on Sky, and a lot of TLC content. That's the bit that's confusing me. So Mock the Week. Let's go to Mock the Week, right? Because I'm not too sure now who owns TLC within, because I know it's Discovery, but I don't know if Discovery merged with HBO and Paramount yet. But we've got the TLC version of Mock the Week. You can watch all 8 episodes on Paramount on HBO Max, which, from what I've utilised so far, I think the UI might be slightly better as a catch-up to watch it rather than Discovery Plus. But I'm not really going to be rewatching Mock the Week because I watch it live and I watch it at the time. So I do think that it's lacking in a lot of archival stuff and stuff that we've not yet seen, not yet had, and it's a little bit like every other service. So that's the main issue with HBO Max itself. But I think, and this might change in coming months, but I think, so when you get HBO Max within Sky, you get the basic ads, which is a shy of, well, according to the little tick box here, so this is what Sky say for HBO Max. HBO Max, save on a HBO Max with Sky. Tick. There's 3 ticks, and I'm just going to describe them. Tick 1 says HBO Basic with ads worth $4.99 a month included with your Sky subscription. We'll get on to the next thing about that, but that, what I now know, the next price above doesn't seem that dramatically bad. HBO originals and fan favourites like Game of Thrones, Friends, and Emmy Award winning The Pitt all in one place. Active now, in a few simple steps and start watching. Already have HBO Max. Why would you already have HBO Max? Unless you've moved from the US to the UK and you've not been able to use your subscription, but you've chosen to still pay it because somehow you managed to do that. That could be my only example. Link your account in a few simple steps and keep your profile and watch history. So the plans are HBO Max with ads are included if you've got the criteria to fit the included, which I actually don't know the entire criteria, but I know that Paramount is within the Sky Cinema. That's the criteria. You have to have Sky Cinema to get Paramount. HBO Max Standard, which is £5 a month, and HBO Max Premium is £10 a month. So with the version that you get included if you've got the criteria is 2 devices with HD. The standard is 2 devices HD, and premium is 4 devices HD. So what I've learned is if you have the standard tier or the premium tier, so it doesn't really matter the difference, right? You unlock some of the content that isn't available, such as the one that I can see here, Mickey 17, TNT Sports, the other one is Superman, a few films. At the moment, I can see films and sports are the main thing, which for me is slightly annoying, because it's like, with Paramount, you can no longer download if you've got the with adverts tier, which you get included with Sky now, you didn't originally. That's annoying that you can't sort of download anything, but you don't lose any of the actual content, and so that's fine. One device, a little bit annoying, but yeah, that's fine. There's nothing really you can do about it further on. But I think what annoys me about HBO Max having the basic tier is that you lose films and stuff. You lose some of the stuff. It's not a wide category at the moment, but you lose some of the films and whatnot. Yes, if you've got Sky, there's probably other ways of dealing with it, but it might stay on HBO Max a lot longer than it will on Sky. And now that I know it's $4.99 a month, because I didn't know this before, which is what the standard tier is, I do think £5 a month isn't a drastic shift. If you've got enough money to pay for the Sky package. And this is all based on if you've got Sky, because I know that $4.99 and $5.99 and all the tiers and whatnot outside of Sky will be a big deal to people, because that's just how it was. But if you've got Sky at that point, and if you've got the tier where you get it included, at that point there's leeway in that. But I think that as a launch, it's a little bit lackluster. I know that the heavy hitter that people are after it today is to get access to the pit. But again, I do think that once people watch the pit, what's next? Because we will have already been watching shows such as Rooster and that other one that I don't really want to name them because I can't actually work out what the name is, actually. So there's a lot of stuff that people are already watching or they've already seen. So I do think there's a lackluster in it, but it's only early days. It's only day one. In a year's time, it could improve, right? But at the moment, it's at its basis. And I think the more we talk about HBO Max, the more that we discuss it, the more that we review it, the more that we have those conversations, will be the better the service gets. So overall, I think the service was, at the moment, a little bit lackluster. I think the limiting content, if you've got the with advert tier, is a little bit annoying. But will that affect? Can you download stuff on HBO Max? It doesn't look like it at the moment, but I need to investigate that because that might be another deal breaker. So I personally wouldn't say if you've got Sky stick with the $4.99. I would say attempt to, but it all depends on your preference and whether or not you will actually use it as much as you think, because you can't cancel it itself. You've got it included, but if you don't think you're going to use it, then leave it the tier you're at. But I do think that it's a little bit lackluster, but at the end of the day, it's not. At the end of the day, it is still day one. So, has the launch of HBO Max here in the UK been a success? I think it's been a semi-success. It's a much more of a success than Peacock was, because then Peacock now no longer is on Sky. Which is weird, because then you can no longer watch the reboot of Saved by the Bell, which was quite good. It was alright. I think that HBO Max seems to be much better than Paramount Plus at this moment in time. Paramount Plus does have some good originals on it, but I think that the way that Paramount Plus is operated, where it was like, it wasn't the advert tier to begin with, then it became the advert tier, is a little bit annoying from a customer's point of view, but HBO Max will improve, and I'm going to be on that journey with it. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.
So, you've just watched my review of the launch day for HBO Max. The time currently recording this segment is 10:31 a.m. here on Thursday, 26th of March 2026. Hopefully you've enjoyed the review. Sorry that it was blurry and it was out of focus. The audio is quite good on the Osmo Pocket 3. That's why I'm happy not to use this mic on my mic stand that I love doing this with. Here on the weird side, there'll be more stuff from me. There'll be more stuff. I'm just trying to develop what the identity, what the brand is for the weird side. Because we no longer do TV show reviews and whatnot. I'm trying to think of what's next for this. But hopefully there'll be more from me. Hopefully there'll be less blurry stuff. That's why I padded out before the review and after review to make sure that the blurriness in the middle isn't too distracting. I do apologise for that, but again, like I said at the beginning, it's less of the visual for this. It's more of what I say, because what I say I'm truly proud of, truly happy with, but I'm not too chuffed with the visual. Yes, I could re-record it, but the words I would say would be different, and I wouldn't sort of have the same opinion base, and my opinion will have changed, and we want my initial opinion. Sitting here now at 10:32 a.m, my opinion on the service is slowly changing, but I think it'll take me a couple of months, so I'll revisit this in a couple of months. Thank you for watching, bye bye.